Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video where we talk about a brand new revolutionary product, better known as GTA Plus. We got a lot to talk about because there is a lot to unpack. Not necessarily in what's included in the package because, well, I've covered that in yesterday's video, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But I definitely want to touch on a bunch of things in here because, oh boy, this is a direction that I'm personally not super happy with, especially because of what's included within the package and the signal that it's giving to the people that are playing the game, especially since day one. To reiterate and kind of give a value to the actual package itself, for $6, you effectively will be given about $6 million worth of value in game. Obviously, this is better than you would be spending that $6 on a shark card, but that's not entirely the point unless you really wanted to make it. My problem primarily becomes for those folks who've been playing the game since day one, myself included. Inside of this package, I will effectively only be getting a total of $550,000, and that's it. The rest is completely and utterly useless to me. The Vesti 8 is a car that I already own, and the HSW upgrades for it will probably not really be that expensive as a whole. The Les Mesa auto shop is already the best auto shop you can have, and thus I already own it. I'm not getting my money for that back either because, well, for some reason Rockstar is like, hey, we can give you a free upgrade, but if you already own it, we're not going to give you back $2 million. It's like, I'm paying you actual money for it. Give me my $2 million. The car meet membership, giving back $50,000 is like, well, it's kind of whatever. And the yacht upgrade is also completely useless to me because I already wasted $9 million on that many years ago when it came out. Getting an upgrade to the newest yacht is also something that makes very little sense to me because instead of that upgrade, why not give everyone just a yacht? It's a completely useless social space anyways, and the only thing you can really do on it that's remotely interesting is either piracy prevention, sit in your pool and look cool, or do the missions in them that are not really that interesting to begin with and are definitely not worth the usual investment of set $6 to $10 million. I'd like to reiterate the point that this is $6 a month. $6 a month for no new content, which is my primary gripe with it. In this package, there is nothing new. This is all old stuff. The only thing that's new is the $500,000 given to you to your bank account. The rest is all old. The event months are also looking very weak, at least judging from the first one. Triple cash on HSW races will earn you nothing. It is very little money. Also, an entire month of just that and double wrap on street races? Really? HSW races themselves are also really old content too. They're all modified races to the HSW cars and being able to exclusively use those because the maps themselves and the races have been in the game since 2013. They just have a new badge on them. They also don't suit the cars all that well considering that how small most of those races are. There are also 8-player races, which by default makes them a lot less interesting to race, especially in public races when, well, most people are just going to drive the Hikuchu drag, and that's kind of it. Obviously, you can adjust that, but as a whole, not very interesting races, and having triple cash on that, not worth it, especially if you're a long-term player. Speaking of long-term players, again, no benefit from this whatsoever because the value of this $6 a month just straight up sucks. There's nothing there. This is obviously clearly targeted for those folks who have just bought the game and have just started to explore what GTA Online is like. And they're like, ooh, GTA Plus, I wonder what this is. I'll get $500,000 and a bunch of stuff. Sign me up. In that regard, the value might make sense, but still, is that really worth it in a time where you can just buy a Kosaka and then start earning it yourself and naturally progress through the game like everyone has in the past almost 9 years, thus actually playing the game rather than just instantly unlocking everything, then having everything instantly unlocked, and then complain on Twitter that there's nothing to do in the game. Clothing items, by the way, since we're on the topic, have already been given out before for free. Yes, this is also old clothing. The liveries that they're giving have been in the game files since Doomsday Heist. Also old content. Probably the most hilarious thing about this whole thing is that you're paying $6 a month to them being granted the permission to buy shark hearts with an increased value. Shark hearts are already incredibly undervalued, and now the way to increase that value is by having you paid $6 so you can spend more money on the game. How does that make any sense? Is that a joke? Like, are they... What did they put in the coffee in the morning when they came up with that one? And again, I don't really see the value for new players either, because with the career builder, and if you set it up correctly, and if you don't know how to do it, check out my video on it in the top right of your screen, you can very easily and pretty quickly get to Kasaka. I'm being genuine when I tell you that if you play the game for free, in that same month of getting an HSW vehicle from the career builder and the free upgrades you can get on Turismo Classic, you'll be able to walk away with $1 million in a month rather than $500,000 for doing 4 time trials, which literally takes you 5 minutes in total. Maybe with a little bit of travel time and you might fill here and there, but at the very most, you're spending 30 minutes on this. You're effectively paying $6 a month for a monthly event week. At least in Red Dead Online, you're getting those for free. On top of the fact that you've already purchased the game, whether it's the full game or the standalone version for $20 or however much it is with the discount going on at the moment. And then there's also the shark hearts in the game, and also the criminal starter pack, which I'm not 100% sure is actually on next gen, but it was on previous gen. And then you also have this subscription service, so you can spend even more money in it. At this point, I really start to wonder why exactly GTA Online was sold for a premium to begin with, for the simple fact that this could very much just be a free-to-play game at this point. Now, this was probably done because of those folks that don't buy any shark cards or anything like that would still have to pay a little bit of coin to fatten the bank account yet a little bit more. You can literally just spend a one-time fee of like $15 or $20 on a $1.25 million shark card and then buy a Kasaka and effectively be set for life. If the game had a steady flow of content, which we all know is not getting at the moment because there's literally 2 DLCs a year and that's it, then it might have been easier to swallow to cough up the $6 a month, and you would actually get some value for it. New content being added to the game if you were to purchase that GTA Plus subscription. But you're not getting that. We're getting DLC every 6 months or something, and typically at the end of the year in July, August, and then in December, and that's really it. You're only getting old content given to you through a subscription that you pay, again, $6 a month for, and it doesn't really make sense at all. My initial reaction to this GTA Plus subscription thing was that when I saw the tweet, I was like, oh cool, they're doing the same thing like they were with the nightclub. And as I kept reading, I was like, okay, this is interesting, maybe we'll be able to like buy this with, in-game money and we'll be able to do a thing. And then at the very bottom of the page, they mentioned the fact that it's going to be $5.99 a month. At which point I was like, why? Just why? It makes no sense at all. Like, one of the ways the situation could kind of be sugar-coated ever so slightly if you were to be able to purchase this package with in-game money. That being around the equivalent of that $6 mark, which I believe is about $500,000 or something like that. Let's call it $1 million. You'll still be getting good value out of it, and people who just simply want to play the game and do something different with their money other than splashing it on cars they never use and just see collecting dust in their garages, it would at least be a gesture of goodwill, because having a subscription service in the game does not make any sense at all. In a game that you're already coughing up a premium for, to put things into perspective, I can take $10 for 3 months of content in Destiny 2, and it's pretty good. GTA Online would cost you $18 for getting old content, which is very easily obtainable if you spend a little bit of time in the game, especially, again, if you got that sweet Kasaka. The sad part is, unfortunately, that they'll get away with it. No matter how hard we kick and scream, they won't change anything. For the simple reason that this is clearly targeted to those new folks that are joining the game for the first time and are kind of not really knowing what exactly is going on, what to do, or just simply cannot be bothered to put in the time to make the money for the game and get the stuff that they want to do. They see these glorified rows in front of their very eyes, put on their own tinted glasses and think, I got $6. I would like to have this fast supercar in this auto shop and this fancy looking yacht. I definitely want to have this. And then they will buy it in the thousands. I really enjoy my time in GTA Online when I play it, especially on stream. That goes without saying. I'm very satisfied with the way that the updated versions of the game have come out, and it's definitely given me a breath of fresh air with the way that the game feels. Unfortunately, it's still GTA Online, and I'm hoping that even though they are releasing this subscription service and they are seeming to be a little aggressive on making sure that as many people start spending money on their game, that they'll start releasing more frequent content updates. Because if you're releasing a subscription service in a game where you're only going to give your players old content and just a free discount here and there, how exactly are you going to justify having people spend $6 a month on a game that is nearly 9 years old and really doesn't offer any sort of value, especially for those long-term players? This subscription service makes no sense and definitely needs to have another very hard look into before it could be justified to bring back once again. Unfortunately, like I said, they probably won't change anything, and those casual players will eat it like a juicy, juicy cookie in front of their very eyes. Become a member on my channel instead of spending it on GTA Plus, like Chloe, Robert, Madman the Code, and Shapeshift Gaming. Yes, only $2 or like $5, it's still cheaper than the subscription. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all later.